Hello. Thank you for inviting me into your home. My name is Beverly Holmes, and I am the leader of a local TOPS chapter.
My name is Dan Benjamin. I'm from Wakefield, Mass. And Beverly, I'd like to ask you a few questions. What is TOPS?
TOPS is a nonprofit weight loss organization. It was founded in 1948 by a woman named Esther Mance. And she had a few women come in, and they were sitting around the kitchen table, and they were discussing their issues with weight, and decided to form their own group. And they called it TOP, T-O-P, Take Off Pounds. A local newspaper found out what they were doing and wrote an article on them. Inadvertently, they listed it as being T-O-P-S, TOPS. So when the women read the article and saw the error, they decided to keep it. And they took the S word and they named it Sensibly. So it then became Take Off Pounds Sensibly. That's how it started.
And Beverly, where are the chapters in the United States, or are they international? Where would they be located?
They are all over the United States in many, many cities. They're also in Canada, and there are some international. So wherever you are within your driving distance, there would be a TOPS chapter.
I know me and my wife were up on vacation in Canada this summer, and we were in a small town in Nova Scotia, and there was actually 3 chapters just in that town alone. So it is international.
It is. It's great.
What happens when you're at a TOPS meeting?
Well, if you're a new person and you come into the meeting, you are welcome with a smile. As the leader, I go over and ask who they are. I introduce them to other people, and then I explain what happens at a meeting. The first thing is a weigh-in. You go into a weigh-in room where you stand on the scale, and there's a weight recorder and an assistant weight recorder, and they will weigh you. Now, I have to tell you that I have worked in the weigh-in room, and I have weighed people in. It is impossible to remember everybody's weight. In fact, I have difficulty sometimes remembering my own weight. So it's a very private and a very personal thing, and your weight is not shared with anyone.
Do they have a roll call or something at the meetings?
After everybody is weighed in at the meeting begins with a roll call, and each person says whether they lost weight or gained weight. If a person has a loss, everybody claps for them. We're happy for them, and we all celebrate it. If a person has a gain, we all say together, we're glad you're here. You know, it's more difficult to get on that scale if you have a gain. It takes more courage when you know you've had a gain, but you know that's what keeps you aware of what you're doing, what your food habits are. So you need to get on that scale even when you have a gain.
I know if you stay the same weight for that particular week, I know they have a special title for that, and what do they call that?
We call those people turtles. It's slow to win the race, so you kind of stay in the same place and you're a turtle. And we're happy for that, because that means even though you didn't lose weight, you didn't gain. Mm-hmm. So it's not a bad thing.
Now, do they have different programs during the meetings? Or?
Every week we have a different program scheduled. Sometimes they're educational, and I find health issues that are in newspapers or magazines, or programs that TOPS puts on the internet or puts in a magazine. So there are many resources for the programs. Sometimes I have information about how many calories are in different foods, portion control, what a plate should look like. Like a plate should be half fruit and vegetables, 1/4 whole grains, and 1/4 protein. So if you kind of picture your dish being that way, you'll probably eat healthy. In addition, we have motivation. We have speakers who come and tell their stories or provide inspiration or motivation. So that's another program that we might have. Also, we do exercise programs. For about 6 weeks, people came in a little bit early, and we did a 1-mile walk program. Also, this past week, I did chair exercises. I asked how many people watch TV for half an hour a day, and everybody raised their hand, of course. And so I did some exercises that you can do sitting in your chair while you're watching TV. So those are the different programs that we have. We also have fun programs with contests and prizes, and we also give rewards. There's a reward each week for the best loser. Each month there's a reward for the person that lost the most weight that month, and also for the runner-up for that month. So we give away, usually it's money, a small cash prize, but you do get rewards.
Do you encourage members to bring up their own subject? Maybe they've found something in a magazine and maybe start their own little program that week?
Sure.
In other words, be the leader for that week.
Sure, I love to. In fact, last week my co-leader did a program on motivation. She brought in a little stone that was a motivation stone, and you were to put that in your pocket or on your windowsill, and every time you looked at it, you would try to be motivated to do better that week, to eat better that week. So anyone can volunteer to do a program or to bring in a special hint of the week. If they read something that's good and they want to bring it in, oh, we'd love to have it. So it's good support for everybody.
And I think one other thing is, who decides what your weight should be for being in TOPS, and what would that goal weight be?
Okay.
Who decides it?
We're very different from other organizations in that your doctor decides your weight. We don't expect anyone to be a size 1 model. We don't expect anyone to set their own goal. Your doctor decides what you should weigh.
How long does it take to lose the weight usually?
Some people it's a matter of weeks, and some people it's a matter of years. For me, it was many, many years. The only thing I can say about the many, many years is all the time I was conscious of what I was doing. Every week when I got on the scale, I knew that I hadn't been eating sensibly. And so even if I had a gain, it probably would have been a greater gain if I wasn't going to get on that scale. So some people lose quickly and some people it takes a long time. But I guess the main purpose is you never give up and you just keep going.
And I'm sure it's probably good to keep that weight loss steady, maybe a pound a week, and not to go, 5 pounds or 10 pounds, but try it at 1 pound a week.
It seems like your body adjusts and adapts better when you lose slowly rather than a great amount. So.
And who would decide on what type of diet you should be on?
Okay. Your own doctor, again, is the one that tells you. There are different reasons and different health issues that people have. And so then your doctor assesses your issues and then decides what diet you should be on. If you have diabetes, it might be one thing. If you have a problem with cholesterol, it might be another thing. So your doctor decides. But TOPS does have a healthy eating plan. It tells you a balance of your carbs, your fats, your protein, your fruits and vegetables, so that if you don't really have a specific health issue that your doctor decides for you, TOPS will give you a guidance with some kind of a health eating plan.
Now, if I was a member of TOPS and I went away for, say, the winter time, maybe down to Florida or summertime someplace, does my TOPS membership end, or do I lose anything because of that?
Absolutely not. When you pay your annual membership, you are a member for the whole year. We have something called a weight chart that you can take with you. It's a travel chart. And if you're gone for a couple of weeks, a couple of months, you bring the travel chart with you, and you can go to any TOPS chapter and weigh in and have it recorded on the chart. And then when you return to your own chapter, you bring that chart with you, and all that is recorded. So
I remember this
no
summer
problem.
when we were in Canada, I looked in a local newspaper, and like you say, they had 3 different chapters in the same town. So I could have went to any one of those
do.
and picked up on it.
I go to Florida for the winter, and we do have one near me in Florida. So it's good in that if you're away for a long period of time, you don't have to forget about TOPS. You don't have to forget about weighing in. There are places you can go to weigh in. And usually the people in those chapters are very welcoming to you. It's like TOPS is almost a brotherhood or a sisterhood. It's a family organization where people relate to one another. We're all there for the same reason. We all have the same goals. And so it's very comfortable when you go to one of those places that you don't really belong, but yet you walk in there and you do belong. So it is great for that.
I think one good thing about TOPS is that, you may listen to TV and see one of these famous actors or singers or something, talking about another different type of plan. And you don't have to buy any particular pre-made product, or you don't have to save points or anything. TOPS is just yourself going there and interacting with people that are exactly like you, and you're having fun.
Right.
It isn't regimented like the other
Right,
ones.
except for an annual membership fee, which is a small amount. I think it's $32 now. That's it for the year. You don't sign up, you don't commit your life to anything. You just join that year, and you don't have to follow any plan. You don't have to buy any special food. There's nothing. You just pay that. And small weekly dues. And the weekly dues, our chapter, it's $8 a month. But that goes to pay for the awards and rewards, and it goes to pay for rent for the building. So it's really pretty nominal compared to others. So.
Besides like the regular meetings that TOPS has, do they have any special events that you can go to?
We have all kinds of celebrations or events that people get together. Coming up in October, we have a fall rally. And it's a fun time in that it's the week before Halloween, and so the leaders will dress up in Halloween costumes. And what they do is to provide more motivation, more inspiration, and to have fun. Because if you're going somewhere and having fun, it makes it more enjoyable and more memorable. So that's in October. This past July, we had something called International Recognition Days. And this is a day held once a year in July when people from all over the United States and Canada come, and they honor people who have lost all their weight. They honor division winners. Even though they haven't attained their full weight goal, they have lost a great amount in their division. And it's like people from 150 to 200 pounds, that would be a division. People from 2 to 250, that would be a division. So that's what I mean by division winners. They honor people that have lost over 100 pounds. I almost fell out of my chair this year when a woman went on stage who had lost 300 pounds.
Wow.
300 pounds. I was just in awe of her. I went to IRD, it was in Reno, Nevada, and I represented Massachusetts because I was runner-up to the state winner of Massachusetts who couldn't go. I'm sad that she couldn't go, but so happy that I got to go. It was an awesome experience. Besides that, every year in the spring, Massachusetts has its own recognition day where only the state of Massachusetts people, TOPS people go. And they recognize people for their weight loss, their achievements, people that have kept off their weight and how many years they kept it off. So they do that. Let's see, what else? We have inspiration workshops. I went to one last week in West Bridgewater. They have speakers, they have some games, they have some prizes, they have some teaching materials as far as portion control and foods that were good. They did a really fun thing. They had all these little brown lunch bags, and in the bags were foods, different kinds of foods. For example, carrots, sweet potatoes, and you had to open your bag and bring out what was in your bag and then talk about different ways to prepare it, to cook it, to eat it. And so a lot of people had different ideas about different foods that maybe you didn't think of. So inspirational workshops are kind of a learning session where you can go and learn more things about food. You know, if you give up smoking, you don't have to be near cigarettes. If you give up drinking, you don't have to be near alcohol. But we all have to have food.
Yeah.
We all have to be near food. And so learning different ways to make them more enjoyable, to make it fun, and yet keep it low calorie. That's what inspiration workshops do.
Well, Beverly, while we're sitting here, I notice on your collar here you have this brooch that says KOPS. What does KOPS really mean?
Keep off pounds sensibly. When a person who is in TOPS meets the goal that the doctor has set for them, they become a KOPS. When you become a KOPS, you have a goal weight. You're allowed to go 3 pounds over and 7 pounds under and still maintain your KOPS status. If you go over the 3 pounds over, you have 2 weeks to get it off. So you don't lose it as soon as you go over. You still have 2 weeks to get it on. So that 10 pounds is a nice leeway, you know, to keep you in status. Yeah.
And since you've lost that weight and now you're trying to keep it off, do you find it harder to keep it off or to lose it to begin with?
You know, a lot of the cops that I've talked to say it's difficult and the pressure is not worth it. But this is what I say. When you become a cops, you can't say, oh, I made it, now I can eat anything I want, anytime I want. No. When you want to be a cops, you need to determine that you need to change your way of eating.
Mm-hmm.
You need to make changes for your lifetime. You need to make changes for your health. And so when you put it up here that you have made those changes and that's how you're going to live and eat, you won't have a problem. I've been a cops now for 1.5 years. I have only been over my goal, 0.2, which is 0.2 of a pound. And it's because I eat less than I used to. If I have pasta, I will not have bread with it. If I go out to eat and have a baked potato, I only eat half and I won't eat a roll. Mm-hmm. Or if I have a roll, I won't eat the potato. So it's little choices you make. And you have to decide, do I want to eat and lose my cop status? Or do I want to maintain my cop status by being sensible? Mm-hmm. And in the long run, it's worth it. Mm-hmm. But you have to make a life change. You can't go back to the way you were. You can't go back to the way that got you to come to TOPS in the first place.
Exactly. Mm. Now, as far as, going for maybe job interviews or something, somebody sees somebody that's overweight or heavy, do you think that they might be discriminated against in some way? Just by, somebody looking at them saying, well, they aren't going to do the job or something like that. Have you ever run into that? Sure.
I'm going to share with you now my own personal story. I was a professional training and development specialist and a corporate instructor. It was so difficult to buy clothes to fit me. If they fit me on top, the shoulders hung off, the sleeves hid my hands. If they fit me on top, they didn't fit me on the bottom. If I did find clothes to fit, they were very expensive. So my initial reason for joining TOPS was mostly my self-esteem and to look better and to feel better about myself. Do you think that people are discriminated against?
I think so.
Well, when I went for an interview, I had to look that much better. I had to be smarter. I had to speak better. I had to dress better. I had to have more education than a thin person did. I saw the looks on their faces. I know I was judged partly on my appearance. Overweight people are looked upon as being less than industrious, not in control, lazy, sloppy, lacking energy, or careless about their appearance. I had to fight those stereotypes and convince a panel that I was intelligent, efficient, energetic, and organized by talking about my experience and my diversity. When I was at my highest weight, I would notice people checking out my groceries in the shopping cart. In restaurants, I would see them looking at the food I ordered. I speak as a woman because I am a woman. But men, too, share some of those feelings, both physical and emotional. Each of you has his own personal story, but you too know about discrimination, pain, and humiliation. What happened to me has happened to many of you. Backsliding, gaining and losing, gaining and losing. Sometimes we call it yo-yo dieting. I gained 20 pounds more than the day I joined my TOPS chapter. We all have our reasons and excuses for not losing. Some of my issues were the deaths of my son, my mother, and my father. This year, my husband passed away. Some days it was more important just to survive than to be concerned about healthy eating. I'm not unique. Almost every one of you could tell me about the sadness or troubles in your life. And yet, week after week, I went to my TOPS chapter. I hoped to get back the initial motivation that I had. The first year that I joined, I lost all of my weight except for 4 pounds. I was doing so great. And then I got pregnant. I gave birth to my 7th child, but I can't use him as an excuse anymore because he turned 40 in June.
Mm-hmm.
I even held just about every office in my chapter to keep me motivated and to keep me coming to face that scale. I couldn't make any excuses to be absent. I had to be there. So many times when I was ready to give up on myself, my chapter would not give up on me. They encouraged me when I had a gain, and they celebrated when I had a loss. 15 years ago, I retired. Health issues came to the forefront. Losing weight was now a priority. I finally learned how to eat sensibly. It took me a long time. But I'm not ready to die. I want to live to hug my children and my 15 grandchildren. I want to be there to share in their important moments as they celebrate their life's events. I want to share both the joys and sorrows of my family. I want to be part of the experience of my friends' triumph and be caring during their tragedies. I don't want to just exist. I want to live a long, healthy life, fully participating. I want to die while I'm still living, not live while I'm killing myself and dying because of food and poor eating habits. These past 15 years since I retired, I started to keep a journal, and I wrote down everything I ate. It made a tremendous difference in keeping me honest with myself. You can't possibly write down everything you eat every single day, and at the end of the week, get on the scale and see again and say, I don't know what I did. Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do. So I played a game with myself, and each day that I kept to the goal that I started with, I gave myself a little round sticker. And at the end of the week, I would look through and see how many I had. So I played the game with myself. TOPS members understand me. They know my difficulties, and they don't judge me. We don't judge anybody. We're all there for the same reason. We have that bond in common.
Mm-hmm.
They are a source of strength and support. TOPS supported me and encouraged me through all these years. Slowly but surely, I finally lost over 40 pounds, and I reached my goal weight. Some of you may think 40 pounds isn't a lot to lose, but I challenge you. I want you to carry around 8 5-pound bags of potatoes a day and tell me that's not a lot. Mm-hmm. I went from size 2X, or a size 20, to a size 12. So 40 pounds does make a big difference. It still seems unreal to me that I made it to my goal. And so now my TOPS chapter celebrates with me. I have made the journey and finished the race. I am a KOPS. Those of you out there who have been struggling for years think you will never lose weight, think of me and know that you can do it too. Why am I still a TOPS member? Well, heredity plays a large part in our health and our lives. We have no control over that. But there are many other areas in our lives that we do have control over. I know I still need to face that scale every week. I still have a constant struggle day to day with eating sensibly. I love to cook, and I love to eat what I cook. And I love family celebrations, and there's always a lot of food. But I take personal responsibility for the foods I buy, cook, and eat. I still need the group support and the encouragement. Staying healthy means eating sensibly, exercising, and keeping a positive attitude. My health has improved. I have more energy than when I was 50. I turned 75 this year, and I still look for challenges in my life. I'm in a singing group, and I went to New York this summer, and I sang and danced at the Empire State Building and at the Statue of Liberty. That's how I spent my 75th birthday. I'm in an exercise program, and I walk 3 to 4 miles at a time. I have a new and better life. Thank you to our TOPS members for getting me going, and for our KOPS members who help keep me going. And so that's why I'm still here. What do you think, Dan?
Well, you're a true inspiration to me, and I can see why you're the leader of your chapter. And you inspire me, definitely. And of course, I don't need to take off any pounds, as you can see. And my wife is over there probably laughing at me. But yes, you inspire me, and who knows what'll happen next week.
Thanks.
We may be back up to the church.
Thanks.
And you don't look a day over 75, believe me. You look great.
Thank you. I do go around and do public speaking to different TOPS chapters, and I tell them all the things I did, and I give suggestions for what they might do. But the bottom line is, you have to have it up here. It has to be in your head that you want to do it, that nobody is going to stop you from doing it. You can get encouragement, you can get support, you can get motivation, but the bottom line is, put it in your own head. I will do it, I can do it, I will become a KOPS.
And you're probably inspiring some people out there right today.
I hope
That'll
so.
call up KOPS and TOPS and join a chapter in their local area. And you don't have to join a chapter that's in your town. You can do in a neighboring town. So, you don't feel like maybe your neighbors or something see you going to that meeting.
There is a TOPS website and a telephone number, which is behind me. And so tops.org, and that will tell you where chapters are if there's something near your home.